everybody. How's it going? And nothing much. Welcome to the English for Food Technology course, and nice to see all of you guys again. The contents in this video was collected on YouTube channel, and there are some small text about this for you. However, I will tell you a little more about these tests on the class, not here. Anyway, you can spend a little time for review on those videos at home in advance. Thank you. Goodbye.
The needs and benefits of food preservation. Have you come across wafers which are smelly and stale? Have you seen bananas or mangoes which have turned black or brown? Have you had a vegetable preparation in your tiffin which gives out a bad smell during lunch break? Food spoilage means the original nutritional value, texture, and flavor of the food has been damaged, and the food has become unsuitable for eating. Reasons for spoilage of food. Most foods are vulnerable to spoilage due to high content of water and nutrients. Yeast molds and bacteria take nutrients from food to grow and multiply. Activity of food enzymes. They cause undesirable change in color, texture, and flavor. Reactions with oxygen. Atmospheric oxygen can react with food, causing rancidity or color changes. What happens if we eat spoiled food? Will we get allergies or will we fall sick by food poisoning? Well, we cannot eat spoiled food. We should not throw away spoiled food. So what do? We should try to preserve our food. Let's see how. There are two methods for the preservation of foods: physical methods of preservation and chemical methods of preservation. Preservation also helps in storing food for a long time. We put preservatives in our food items to keep them fresh for longer durations. High salt and high sugar mixtures preserve food because they absorb water from the microorganisms, causing them to shrivel up and eventually die. Citric and ascorbic acids can inhibit the action of the enzyme which turns the surfaces of cut apples and potatoes brown. Antioxidants inhibit the oxidation of food constituents. Let's look at the physical methods. Vacuuming. It removes all air from packaged food, making it airtight. This prevents spoilage by air oxidation. Freezing. It stops most chemical and biological processes that slowly spoil vegetables. Drying. It reduces the water content of food and prevents the breeding of bacteria in our food. Thus, it stops the rotting of food. Smoking. The combination of heat to dry the food without cooking it and the addition of aromas from the smoke preserves the food. Burial. This process can preserve food due to a variety of factors such as lack of light, lack of oxygen, and cool temperatures. Burial may be combined with other methods such as salting. Pasteurization. Heating the food stuff at high temperature and then immediately cooling it. This kills the microorganisms possibly present in the food. Canning. This involves heating up both the jar and the food to kill the germs and then sealing the food within the jars. Based on physical and chemical methods of preservation, mango pulp can be preserved in the form of aam papad. Let's see what they're doing. Also, try to identify different methods for preservation of food. Step 1. Choose the most ripe mangoes. This helps us get maximum pulp. Take the mango pulp in a large pot. Remove the fibers from the pulp. Then add jaggery and sugar in equal amounts to the pulp. This is a chemical method of high sugar preservation. Spread the pulp in thin layers over the mat. Leave it to dry in the sun. Drying is a physical method of preservation. In the evening, cover the spread with a sari. This prevents dust and mud from settling on the food. Repeat the process until the jelly grows a few centimeters thick. By using different methods, we can preserve mangoes in the form of pickles, chutney, chicky, and eat mangoes around the year. Some other simple methods to store food items for a few days are boiling milk, putting cooked rice in a bowl and keeping it in a container with water, wrapping green coriander in a damp cloth. Onion and garlic can be kept in dry, open places. Meat can be salted and put in a freezer. Vegetables can be washed, sliced and kept in the fridge. So, what did we learn? We learned about the methods for preserving food. There are two methods, physical and chemical. Physical methods involve vacuuming, freezing, drying, burial, smoking, pasteurization, and canning. Chemical methods involve high salt and high sugar addition, citric acid and ascorbic acid storage, and addition of antioxidants. Food gets spoiled because of high content of water and nutrients, or the activity of food enzymes. The advantages of food preservation are: it saves money and minimizes food wastage. It prevents spreading of food contamination. And not to forget, it keeps us healthy. Food spoilage. It means the original nutritional value, texture, flavor of the food are damaged and the food becomes unsuitable to eat. Rancidity. when food containing oil and fat comes in contact with the surrounding, oxidation takes place. Due to this, bad smell and change in taste of food may occur. Food poisoning. It refers to the presence of acute illness due to the indigestion of contaminated or spoiled food. It can lead to infectious diarrhea. Contamination. It refers to the presence of harmful chemicals and microorganisms in food which can cause consumer illness.
That it had a very dry taste, like a raw potato. The link between corn and Tisenti wasn't very easy to find, actually. For many years, nobody knew where corn came from since it doesn't look like anything that grows in the wild. It was only after finding several similar chromosomes between the two that this link was determined. One scientist even managed to pop a Tisenti kernel. The cultivation of Tisenti to modern-day corn came about as, for each subsequent harvest, we selective bred the more desirable Tisenti plants that had larger and more rows of kernels. This led the corn we know today, which is easy to peel and 1,000 times larger. Modern corn also contains 4 times more sugar compared to the natural old version of corn. Number 9. Avocado. The millennials' favorite fruit has gone through quite a lot of change, and it's all for the better. In the wild, avocados are very small and can easily fit into the center of your palm, growing to about 3 inches in diameter. The pit of the wild avocado takes almost all the space inside the fruit, leaving little room for the fruit's famous green flesh. Roughly speaking, it would take close to 10 wild avocados to get the same amount of flesh that you would get with a single modern version of the fruit. Worse yet, the little flesh that it has doesn't taste very good. It has a rougher, grittier quality, in contrast to the creamy and tasty characteristic of the modern avocado. The wild avocado was also encased in a hard shell, quite different from the leathery, fleshy kind of skin that the current avocado has. Thankfully, our ancestors improved the fruit in significant ways, selectively breeding it, allowing us to have this tasty fruit that goes so well on toast. Number 8. Peach. The peach is another example of our ancestors using selective breeding to create a bigger and tastier version of a fruit. Domesticated by the Chinese around 4000 BC, the original peach was very small and resembled a cherry. It had a waxy skin and only 64% of edible flesh. It also had a taste that was described as earthly, sweet, sour, and slightly salty, similar to a lentil. Also, a big amount of the wild peach was occupied by the fruit stone, close to 34%. After thousands of years, farmers got to the version of the peach we have today. The current modern peach has soft, edible skin and is 64 times larger. It also has 90% of edible flesh, a vast increase from the wild peach. The stone in the current peach has also dramatically decreased in size, making up for only 10% of the fruit. The current peach is also 27% juicier and tastes 4% sweeter. All around, the peach has just gotten better through the ages. Number 7. Eggplant. The wild variation of the eggplant is completely unrecognizable from the modern version we have today. Eggplants used to come in a variety of shapes, but most of them were round. In fact, the name eggplant actually comes from the fact that they were often white and round, hence looking like an egg that grows from a plant. They had a range of different colors like yellow, white, and even blue. Some of the earliest versions of the eggplant also had spines that connected to its flower. It's believed that the domestication of the eggplant started in places like China, India, and Thailand. They were initially used only for medicinal reasons because the wild eggplant had a bitter aftertaste. Through selective breeding, we arrived at the modern eggplant, with its purple color and oblong shape. The spine has disappeared, giving way to its stem that connects to its flower. Better yet, the eggplant is now edible and really delicious. Number 6. Strawberry. Oftentimes, as shown in this video, humans molded fruits and vegetables to make them taste better. However, the opposite happened in the case of the wild strawberry. Known as Fragaria vesca, the wild strawberry actually tasted sweeter and is considered the better version of the fruit. However, the wild strawberry is much smaller than its modern version. So, why did the modern version of the strawberry lose its flavor? Reportedly, that's because other factors started coming into play, influencing how these fruits evolved. Farmers started favoring size, resistance to disease, qualities and a better and bigger appearance, which ended up decreasing the taste of the fruit. The modern strawberry actually started to take shape when a French spy brought the Chilean version of the strawberry over to France. This variation of the fruit was significantly bigger than the ones grown in Europe at the time. The two species of strawberry were crossed and gave rise to the modern strawberry of today. Fun fact, what may look like seeds in the wild strawberry are actually called achenes. They are themselves tiny fruits with tiny seeds inside of them. Number 5. Tomato. We have been shaping the tomato to our own taste for thousands of years. The evolution of the tomatoes happened in 2 stages. First, there was the wild ancestor of the tomatoes. These fruits had a size similar to berries and came in a bunch of different colors, like yellow, green, and purple. It's reported that the first cultivated tomatoes were small and yellow, which earned them the name golden apple. These wild tomatoes, after a large span of time, eventually evolved into the cherry tomato. From the cherry tomato, humans ultimately developed the big fruited red tomato, which is the fruit's most recognizable form. However, these changes weren't all for the best. Over the years, the tomato lost some of its genes that create sugar, making it less flavorful. Because of all the selective breeding the tomato has been through, most consider that there is little room to improve on the fruit's genetic traits. So it's probable that the tomato will stay largely the same for the near future. Number 4. Carrot. Wild carrots look nothing like the orange carrots we know today. They were found in Persia around the 10th century and were either white or purple. These carrots were very thin, with forked roots and a strong, powerful flavor. The seeds of these types of carrots eventually made its way to Europe, where they were selectively bred over centuries in order to reduce their bitterness and increase their sweetness and size. These improved carrots still came in a variety of different colors like red, yellow, and purple. The bright orange version of the modern carrot only came about for political reasons. Back in the 17th century, the Dutch were known mainly as carrot farmers, and it was there that the orange variation started to be cultivated. The Dutch started growing this variation in abundance because they saw it as a tribute to William of Orange, who led the Netherlands to independence. From there, the color stuck and became the primary version of the carrot we all know. Number 3. Cucumber. You probably wouldn't guess that the wild cucumber is actually related to the modern version of the cucumber we have nowadays. The wild cucumber has a distinct look and is very easy to spot. It has an oval or spherical shape and is covered in spikes. These spikes usually grow to at least 1.2 inches in diameter, but can go up to 8 inches long. These wild cucumbers usually hold 4 seeds inside of them. Although related to the cucumbers we're used to, this prickly version of the vegetable is not edible and is considered toxic. Some reports say that ingesting them could even kill you. The cucumber is believed to be native to India, and it was cultivated originally for medicinal reasons. The modern cucumber bears little resemblance to its wild version. It has a cylindrical shape with multiple seeds inside of it, and it can grow as large as 24 inches long. Modern cucumbers are also very edible and low in calories, given that they are almost 90% water. Number 2. Banana. The wild banana is quite different from the yellow snack that we have today. Originally, they were stalky and hard, filled with large and tough seeds that were spread across the fruit's interior. Because of the hard seeds, these bananas were inedible. That's why most assume that these wild fruits were cooked and then eaten. Otherwise, humans would not have started cultivating it. It's believed that the first bananas were farmed 10,000 years ago, in the region that is now Papua New Guinea. The bananas we have today are a hybrid of 2 wild banana varieties, Musa acuminata and Musa bulbiciana, which eventually developed into the well-known bright yellow fruit with its peelable cover. The current banana has smaller seeds, more nutrients, and tastes better than its wild counterpart. However, it's said that the fruit needs to evolve or they might go extinct. That's because right now, these bananas lack genetic diversity. This makes the fruit increasingly vulnerable to pests and diseases that could devastate the banana industry. Hopefully, scientists will manage to find a viable alternative before it comes to that. Before I reveal the most outrageous example in this list, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to Be Amazed. We upload amazing fact-filled videos every day, so don't miss out on learning some amazing new information. Also, hit that bell icon for notifications on more amazing fact-filled videos. Number 1. Watermelon. Watermelons have actually been around for millennia, and they're one of the fruits that have most drastically changed in appearance over the years. The first recorded harvest of the fruit happened 5,000 years ago in Egypt. Those watermelons were unrecognizable by today's standard. They were a fraction of the size they are now, measuring around 2 inches in diameter. They were also extremely bitter, tasting nothing like the sweet fruit we have today. Over time, humans kept cultivating and molding the watermelon, By the 17th century, the watermelon from the outside largely resembled the ones of today. However, the inside part of the fruit would probably be considered bizarre by people today. Paintings from the era show a sliced open watermelon having swirly shapes inside, with 6 triangular pieces and a spiral of seed. The watermelon's flesh was also a lighter red. Over time, we got to the modern, fleshier version of the watermelon. The fruit is now over 1,500 times bigger than the original wild watermelon. Its fleshy interior also increased in size and became a more vibrant red over time. All our human effort made the watermelon bigger, juicier, and taste sweeter. What fruit or vegetable do you think changed the most? After this list, will you be able to look at them all the same? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching.
Arnold, what are you doing there?
Wow.
You drawn a cartoon? You learned to do that by yourself? What's that, Arnold? Skillshare is a learning community with more than 17,000 lessons in design, animation, and more. So you went to the website, took a class, and now you can do all this? Well, play it already, Arnold. I can't wait to see it. Hello, Arnie. What do you have there? Hey, lunkhead, I hope you're not looking for Mentos. So, according to the terms of the challenge, you're supposed to replace water with cola. And why are you looking so smug? Watch out, Arnie. Incoming! 1 can of cola contains 10 teaspoons of sugar. That's your total recommended daily allowance, all at once. With so much sugar at one time, the body should respond with vomiting. But orthophosphoric acid absorbs most of the taste, and everything stays safely inside. Your brain is easy to trick, but it's more difficult to fool your body. The liver, in order to circumvent this atrocity, turns all the sugar into fat. Arnold's lifespan is reduced by 2.5 years for every 10 kilograms he's overweight. So at 100 kilos overweight, you'll lose 25 years off your life. On the other hand, after a couple of years of side effects from diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol, you'll have a pretty good chance of dying young and beautiful. Sugar also leaches calcium from bones and teeth, and the effect is enhanced by orthophosphoric acid. Now your bones can be broken from even the slightest impact. The cherry on top will be cancer of the lungs or liver, caused by preservatives that turn ordinary carbonated water into the nectar of the gods, which goes so well with a big, juicy burger and fries. And by the way, choose a seat near the toilet. The caffeine in cola has a diuretic effect. Arnie, hurry up. People are waiting. So, what can I say? The pictures aren't bad. And here's the script. Well, you sure are a knucklehead, Arnie. You could have made yourself into anyone. You could have done an experiment on me and gotten revenge for everything I've put you through. But alas, Arnold, your tiny little micro pea brain didn't figure it out. But again, the animation is really awesome. These guys at Skillshare, they managed to make a pro out of even a talentless hack like you. Hey, you. Yeah, you on the other side of the screen. If you want to learn how to make some cool cartoons, become a famous animator, photographer, designer, businessman, or even film director, Skillshare has the classes you need to make it happen. You'll get a discount 3 months of Skillshare for just 99 cents through the link in the description. Hurry up. The offer's only available through the end of January. And remember, Arnold recommends it. Put your finger up if you like this video, send it to your friends, and subscribe to my channel. There are many more exciting experiments coming with our friend Arnold.